wonder why, no matter how hard you try, you just can't get a grip on that schedule? Well, 90% of students have the exact same struggle. And today, we're getting into the time management traps you need to avoid so that you can break out of that 90%. Many of us have a misconception around this thing called time management. It's not just setting alarms and making to-do lists, it's a lot more to do with mindset. Because a lot of us have thoughts around time management that are handcuffing us from being better. And these are what we call limiting beliefs. I myself have only recently overcome them, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to let my British friend define what limiting beliefs are for you. A limiting belief is a thought or state of mind that you think is absolute truth that is stopping you from doing certain things. I assume in this instance, those certain things are time management, right? Great. And again, sorry for the wrinkly shirt lads. They have a lot of time to press. But yeah, limiting beliefs. So thank you, my friend. You sound a little hoarse, so you're probably going to drink some water. But that is exactly what we're discussing on this episode of the Student Struggles podcast, powered by WebLearn. We're talking about the three most popular limiting beliefs that students have around time management. Number one being, I don't have enough time. I'm juggling too many things. I have work, I have school, I have extracurriculars, financial responsibilities to others, or too many assignments, too much homework, too many exams. I can't get it done. Right? We can unpack that in a little bit. Number two, I do not need a schedule. A lot of students say that, they don't need a schedule. They can remember everything in their head. They will never miss a deadline. They'll never miss an assignment. So there's no need for them to better manage their time because they got it all up here. Again, we can unpack that a little later. And number three, which is the one that I struggle with the most, I work better when under pressure. I used to say this myself too. And that is probably one of the most dangerous ones because we all know eventually there's going to come a time where there's not going to be a project you can do like the night before. Yeah, kind of regretting that one. So, but what I'd like to know is in the comments down below if you're on YouTube or DM us on IG at WebLearn if you're on the audio platforms. Let me know which of these three are you, or are you another limiting belief that I didn't even mention. But how we're going to overcome this is very simple. And I can be honest, I'm a bull-faced thief. I tell you no lies. Stealing is straight. Tony Robbins has an excellent 4-step process on how to overcome limiting beliefs. And we're working through each step of that process so that we can overcome these limiting beliefs we have, that most students have with reference to time management. So without no further ado, we're getting into step number one. And we have to ask ourselves these questions. So maybe get out a little notepad or a notes app to answer them for yourself or just rewatch or re-listen. And as usual, we're getting insights from trainings in our free course, the 21-day Stress-Free Scholar. So stay tuned, enjoy the training, and I will be popping in intermittently to, so you could just hear my voice in my face. Yeah. Step one of overcoming your limiting beliefs is the belief you hold really true? So do you really not have enough time? Or is that something that you could be using just as a crutch or an excuse? Because it may more so be translating to, you saying you don't have enough time may be translating to, well, I don't want to make the effort to free up my time or plan my time more effectively so that I can have enough time for other things. You don't need a schedule. Is that really the truth? Or are you just using that because you don't want to make the effort to plot out every single day for a certain amount of time of what you have to do? Is it really true that you work better under pressure? Or is it that is only when you can get focused and productive to accomplish tasks, right? Because the real question with overviewing step one is, have you considered all the evidence out there, let's just say, that your belief is true? Have you actually went and checked out or done some research or just the necessary asking around to see if it really is true? So now you're challenging your belief. Is it really true? And to those of you who hold limiting belief number one, I don't have enough time, I have a short quote for you. Those who make the worst use of their time are often the first to complain about its shortness. Sorry to be so direct, but I thought it was appropriate. So you can think on that while we get into step number two. Step two is, how does this belief make you feel? When you tell yourself, I don't have enough time, oh, I don't need a schedule, or I work better under pressure. How does that make you feel? Do you feel empowered, enthusiastic, like you could accomplish anything? More than likely not, especially when you tell yourself you don't have enough time. You're reinforcing the fact that you are not a productive person. You don't make the sacrifices necessary to improve and be more effective with your time. So, how is it serving you? If this belief you're having is not juicing you up or is not making you excited or motivated or disciplined, as we talked about in earlier modules, what is the benefit of having it? The next question we ask underneath step 2: how does this belief you have, how does it impact your thoughts? How does it impact your behaviors? When you say you don't have enough time, you're reinforcing negative feedback loops. And what's your behavior then? Well, you act like you don't have enough time. Like the world is against you, conspiring against you because you have too many things on your plate. What behaviors are reinforced when you tell yourself you don't need a schedule? You leave everything up to chance and you remembering it. And you can't remember every single thing because you don't only have to remember things about school, you have to remember things with reference to your family, for those who have a job, extracurricular activities, taking the necessary time to check it on friends. There's no way you can possibly remember every single one of those things. For those of you who say you work better under pressure, what behaviors is that reinforcing? It reinforces procrastination. You wait until the last minute to do every single thing. And what happens? The quality of your work suffers. How does that um how does that lead you to be interpreted? Right? What sort of person are you viewed, are you deemed as when you continue to leave things to the last minute? Nobody trusts you. So now you're considering how this belief has made you feel, how it's impacted your behaviors and your actions. Well, I know definitely for me, relying on my brain and not having a schedule, I was very unorganized and all over the place. And this is a quote that I wish someone had told me earlier, and I think is viable that I share with you as well. It says, "It's not enough to be busy. So are the ants. The question is, what are we busy about?" Henry David Thoreau. So that belief that we have that we don't need a schedule sounding more and more far fetched, right? So, and again, think on that while we get into step number 3. So, step 3: imagine a world where this limiting belief that you have does not exist. So, instead of saying, I don't have enough time, what if everybody had enough time, but it's just how to use it? What about if you don't need a schedule? What if everyone who is successful does have a schedule and a pattern that they follow, a pattern of events that they follow, but it's just that everyone isn't doing it? Imagine a world where your limiting belief does not exist. And it's not a case that you just work best under pressure. It's a case of, well, you just need to be more focused and productive. It's not that you can only be focused and productive under pressure. You could actually be focused and productive anytime you wanted to with the right effort and under the right conditions. And just to add to this point on if this belief never existed, there's some scientific literature that hypothesizes that a student who is effectively managing their time, on average, has increased their GPA by 2.5 points just by being an effective manager of their time. So this shows you how important it is and how these beliefs could even be drastically affecting your academic performance. But you already know that, so just add into it. So let's get into step number 4. And this leads us to step 4. Write down the opposite of that limiting belief. You don't have enough time, you have enough time. I don't need a schedule, I actually do need a schedule. I work better under pressure. Well, no, it's just that I have a bad habit of procrastinating and I can be productive whenever I feel like it. What to do then? Write down 3 reasons why that is true. 3 reasons why you do have enough time. Successful people seem to have enough time to get everything they need to do done, right? Or I can actively see myself wasting X amount of hours each week on this activity that is not important, right? Those are 2 reasons there. And just be honest with yourself, right? What are 3 reasons that the opposite of this belief could be true? When you go through that, that is the that kind of shift, like, oh my gosh, like, wow, like this thing has really been holding me back. That is the moment I want you to have. Because we got to deal with the mental first. It doesn't make any sense I giving you all the principles and the activities to do and the habits to follow to become a more time effective and time efficient person when you already up here sabotaging yourself because you don't think it's possible. The first step we had to do is erase these limiting beliefs, and then we can move forward. And for your benefit, if you want to apply this to other areas, we have an excuse busting guide, but it goes over the same 4 steps. And you could, the other limiting beliefs you think you may have in other areas as a student, or in other areas with reference to what you're juggling at work and other areas in life, you can use it and go through the same 4-step process so that you could conquer your limiting beliefs and become a more time effective, more productive person overall. So we would have just shattered some like major time management myths. And in overcoming those limiting beliefs and changing your mindset, I just want you to know that's only step one. Now you actually got to do the work and make sure that you manage your time more effectively. Know that you know it's possible. But you know your boy ain't left is stranded at sea. So I got some stuff for you. If you didn't know, we have a newsletter called the Study Shuffle. Okay, you know what I mean? Studying could be fun and thing. Gotta show you I might study shuffle one of these days. But on Tuesdays, we have a segment called Time Management Tuesdays, which we get into like effective tips and exercises and steps you could take to more effectively manage your time. And that's gonna hold you more accountable. But we ain't done yet. If you ever felt that you've been studying and you staring at this book for half hour, and nothing is sticking, well, in our next episode, we're going into 4 brain hacks that you could use to make studying a breeze. So subscribe and follow so that you could obviously see when the episode comes out. Or if the episode is live, just check it out, brother. Waiting for. Yeah, just so you know what I mean. Check out the next episode. Peace.